On to the next one, bro. Let's depict this piece of shit and analyze it. Because what I've seen, it's perfect. First of all, it's in Switzerland. Yeah. Second of all, Ukraine will join NATO and EU. Title is misleading as fuck. So, like, comment, and subscribe if you love what I'm talking about, and if not, you go your merry way.
And Victor, thank you for again putting together this extraordinary breakfast. And I salute our Ukrainian heroes. This, for me, is the most important breakfast in Davos, and I'm delighted to be here. Alexander Stubb, President Stubb, I wanted to turn to you and ask you, how do we actually get to the next stage that Mark Rutte has mentioned, and to what Larry Fink just called the resolute peace and security that Ukraine...
Remember, guys, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Larry Fink. There's so many people who are wrong for this world. And yeah, if you think about it, they're gonna be there in like 10 to 20, 30 years. There will always be another worse guy.
needs. What are the next steps, and how do we get...
In German, we say the sentence means worse is always possible. Schlimmer geht immer.
Russia to the table?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Zani, and thanks, Victor, for the invitation, and thank you to all Ukrainian soldiers for what you do for protecting Europe. Before I begin, let me just gently remind on the Arctic question that NATO was just expanded with a country that has 1 million individuals trained in Arctic conditions, and that country is Finland. So I think we can do a lot on Arctic security. Now, my 2 points, one on the peace process and the second...
I'll stay to the opinion that Trump won't take it. Trump will not take it. He won't do it with force. That will be a shit show. Even if he could, it will be an absolute shit show.
One on the narrative of the war. On the peace process, I think we are in a good place in the sense that the United States, Ukraine, and Europe, or more specifically the coalition of the willing, is on the same page. Ever since Jared Kushner came in with the help of the work of Jonathan Powell and many others, we're now in a concrete stage where we're looking at somewhere between 5+2 documents which have to do with security guarantees, the prosperity package, which Larry has been working on, a sequencing document, and
I think it's an absolute bold move to put Larry Fink in charge. He's one of the co-chairs, and when I heard that, I was absolutely stunned, and I was like, bro, the CEO of BlackRock is now the head of the WEF. They will eradicate a lot of homes. A lot of people will be homeless. A lot of homes will go back to the state. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. I'm scared for the future. On one side, I can't wait. But on one side, some of these people should not be with us, so to speak.
And many others, and the 20-point plan, of course. I think on this particular situation, we're going to be in a position whereby we have full agreement between Ukraine, the United States, and Europe on what I would consider to be a good package, which has, I think, the elements for a lasting peace. But here's where I come to my second point, and that is that I'm not convinced that Russia will approve this.
Of course not.
And this is the worry that I have, and that's why I fully agree with Mark that this is not over. Right now, what we need to do is to focus on the today and the near future, and how we can provide and sustain and help Ukraine. Now, on the narrative of the war, this is something that I'm a little bit baffled, both in the international discourse and perhaps in some of the things that we hear also coming from the United States. Let's make this clear. Putin has failed in every and each one of his strategic aims. Number one, he wanted to take over Ukraine and make it Russian. He failed. He will not take over Ukraine, and Ukraine will become a member of the European Union.
That's where the title is misleading. But you can't expect to bully somebody for years to come, and then when he finally stands up and defends himself, he's the bad guy. It always happens. We always thought Joker was the villain in Batman, right? Until we grew up and saw life for what it is. And then we saw like, oh shit, maybe Joker isn't the villain at all. Like, he was disappointed by society and he got the way he was through his experience, right? Russia is not the bad guy, guys. It's not. The bad guys are always the ones telling he's the bad guy. Who's that? It's the United States of idiots. Or Israel. USI.
Number two, he wanted to prevent the enlargement of NATO. He got two substantive military powers into the alliance and doubled his border with the alliance because Finland joined. Number three, he wanted to project power around the world and in the region. Look what's going on in Central Asia. Look what's going on in the Southern Caucasus. Look what's going on in Iran. Look what's going on in Syria. Look what's going on in Venezuela. It's not exactly a success story from the perspective of the Kremlin. My final point is to say, from a military perspective, there seems to be this narrative that Russia is winning. I fundamentally disagree. In the past 1,000 days, Russia has advanced a maximum of 1 percentage point of.
Yeah, Russia isn't winning, just like Trump isn't stopping. Just like Trump isn't stopping the war,
Ukrainian territory. Today, the cost of that is 1,000 dead soldiers per day. That's 30,000 roughly per month. And this is dead, not only wounded, and on the Russian side. In Afghanistan, in 10 years, 20,000 Russian soldiers died. On top of that, the Russian economy is suffering. There's zero growth, no more reserves.
Yeah. No more reserves. I don't believe that. I think the Russians are just doing just fine. Russians, they always held on its own. That's what Yugoslavia was. The Russians, you don't think they have? You really think they're suffering? They don't give two shits about U.S. Import goods. Yeah, they can access some of the web line, but a VPN. Russian hackers, bro. That's absolute bullshit. That video is absolute garbage. But I will keep it up because that's what I do. I depict news outlets to you guys and I try to analyze it to the best of my abilities. If people prove me wrong, please prove me wrong. I'm always here for new perspectives. And I'm young. I don't know shit. Sometimes I do. I just speak the way I feel. And a lot of people feel the same way.
Inflation rates continue to multiply on the level at which they have been this year. That will be 30% of inflation this year. Add to that 16% interest rates. I don't think that the argument that Russia does not want to end the war because it believes that it can advance holds I think the argument that Russia does not want to end this war because it is too expensive for Putin to end. He will not be able to pay the Russian soldiers. So the big dilemma that we right now have is that how can we force Russia to end this war? And there are only two things that we can do. One, continue to provide Ukraine with everything it's possible, and two, put more economic pressure on Russia. And then we will see that Ukraine will have won.
Bro, put economic pressure on Russia. You put more. You really think that's gonna work? They got China in their back. China is helping them. China will help them. If Putin suffers, Xi Jinping will stand next to him. They won't suffer. Look at that resource. Have you seen how big Russia is? US doesn't have any resources. Canada even has more. Russia has like triple, 4, 5, 6, 7, 80 times the amount of oil that Venezuela had. That country is enormous. Really think it doesn't have any resources? Guys, please. Economical, yeah, they're struggling maybe with some export, import goods. Sure, they don't have anything, everything. That's true. But the country is big as fuck. Like, guys. It's 17.1 square kilometers. Look at this. Look at this. There's no desert there. You really think these countries do not have any resources? Look what. Bro, you're capping if you think. And the war is only here. It's not even 1%. They're talking about, yeah, 1%. They couldn't advance all that much, and only 1%. That's only in that little corner where my cursor is. And that's the whole country. We can fit Europe in there like 4, 5, 6 times. And the US 2, 3 times. You tell me, man. That country, and it's just one country. People forget that. Absolutely why. And people think they have no resources and no economy, but they're doing just fine. They're doing just fine. That's the Western propaganda. Perfect video for me, so I can make it a perfect video, but it was a bullshit ass video. I mean, there were some good points being made, but other than that, nothing.